Oh, welcome guys to episode 1 of Beavelguy Space Engineers series. We're playing Crash Landing. It seems that we have, by some miracle, survived the crash. We're on this red planet here. Wow, first things first. So, this is a map I created because, well, I really like Space Engineers. I've been wanting to do a series on it for a while, but I don't really like the standard starting scenarios that it gives you. They're a little bit too easy, and the temptation's always to crank up all the things, the maximum inventory, welding speed, grinding speed, and all of that. I wanted to create a scenario that encouraged you to play the game, well, the way that it was supposed to be, with all the realistic settings, so you have to manage your inventory carefully and everything else. So there's quite a few things we have to worry about here. Ooh, big lag spike there. I'm gonna have to play around with the settings on this as well. I haven't quite got the hang of this. I don't know if my computer's quite up to it, but I am gonna be getting a new graphics card soon, so hopefully that'll improve things. But yeah, basically, first thing you have to do is recover your basic starting tools, and they're back in the aft section of the ship. So you're gonna need those, whatever you choose to do. And you have a bunch of different options. There's not one right way of doing this map. I've done that on purpose. There's, you know, you can find your optimal way of doing things. But for me, the first thing I want to do, we have to worry about power, oxygen, hydrogen. And for power, we're going to need to be able to recharge our suits. So I'm going to run back, and I want to get this flight seat from the forward section of the ship here. I'm going to bring it back. We need to restore power to the aft section, which is way back there where we got our tools. So it's a solar-powered ship, and the problem is that the sun is rapidly setting here. Now, thankfully, it did have a battery. Ooh, let's start grinding this down. But the power in that battery is limited, so we're going to have to manage the power that we use and find some way of restoring the backup power for that ship. At the same time, we need to find some way of getting ourselves some oxygen and hydrogen restored. So there's an oxygen generator in that aft section of the ship as well. But we didn't think far enough in advance to get down here, to make like oxygen bottles and hydrogen bottles and stuff. So we're gonna have to make some of those. And that comes to the next challenge, because they're gonna need certain resources, so nickel and silver. And there aren't very many sources of those in the components on our ship. So I'll show you when we get there. A little bit of running at the beginning here, but that's just to increase the sense of stress, because our meters are rapidly running down and we have no way of restoring them yet. We have to get ourselves so organized here. Inventory space is a massive issue too. Now, there are a couple little tricks you can do in the short term. So for example, we can put... Oops, am I stuck? There we go. We can put, let's get some plates here. We can put some components into the assembler just to keep them stored in the short term. But that doesn't have very much space either, because the inventory size is so low. So I'm just going to get repair this a little bit, just so we have some space to work with. Good enough, that's fine. If I go seat... There we go. Seat. Flight seat. We should be able to just make this. Now, welding speed's very low as well. Now, the reason I've left those low, it's not just to be frustrating and make it, you know, make everything be harder because it takes longer. It's because there are upgraded versions of these tools, and if you have everything set to maximum, you're never really going to bother making them. So you start off with everything basic, and it encourages you now. There's actually a point in kind of upgrading your equipment and in making vehicles and stuff to carry your stuff around. So that's why we've chosen to do things that way. So I'm going to get this going. And now I should be able to sit in this seat. I'm just going to finish welding it up here. Ooh, come on, hurry up. It really is slow in the beginning. I'm going to sit in here. And if we look at the stats on the ship here, control panel, we've got all these components. Now, the battery has switched itself off, because when it crashed, it's toggled off to save power. If we turn that on, We've got 3 hours of time remaining on that battery. Now, that means we've got to survive this entire night, and as long as it takes us to get power back into this ship, that's not very good. So what we're going to do is we're going to disable at least all of these thrusters. I'm not sure how much extra time that'll get us. There's like oxygen generators and stuff. We probably don't need the arc furnace just yet. Air vent can go off. External lights can go off. Gravity generator can definitely go off. Don't need that blinking red light all the time. Yeah, that'll do for now. So now we're up to 25 days of fuel time. That's going to make a massive difference for us. Now, that's going to change depending on what we have running. So when we are refining things or making things in our assembler, that power consumption is going to jump up rapidly. So we need to make sure that we're managing our power. Now, I want to make production. Oh, it's so loud. I want to make hydrogen bottles and oxygen bottles, or at least one of each. So I'm going to need nickel and silver. There are not very many sources of that. Now, I happen to know that there's some goodies hidden away in this ship. So if I break this down, I'm going to try and kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. So I need these. I think it's the interior plates I need off of this thing. You, and if I... see, I could just put it under there. And then it'll all be linked up. Let's do that. Oops. Losing components already here. Let's just make some space. See, store that in the assembler. Break this down. Ah, that's small steel tubes in it. Something I need actually soon. If I go cargo, get a small one. If I just pop you there. Because there's already the remnants of a conveyor system linking to that. What did it say we needed? Interior plates. Where are you? Yeah, interior plates. We're gonna need other bits and pieces as well, including metal grids. They're another one that's hard to find. Ooh, if I jump up here, I happen to know that we can get interior plates from this oxygen vent here. If I can reach you, there we go. So one thing you could do, if you want to be able to breathe again, which is quite nice, instead of wasting all this time, and like one of the places we're going to have to get our nickel from is by breaking down our solar panel on the roof. Now, obviously that's how we're going to get power again. It's a pretty critical system component. So if you're more worried about power, you can find some other way of getting oxygen and everything sorted. But I'm choosing to do this way. I have tested a few different ones and they do work. But we're going to salvage the vent, and we're going to try and make some bottles. What do we need now? Just finish grinding this down. Oh, come on. We're going to waste a little bit of power here just to get this done. Get some extra plates. Okay, so we need what? Displays, motors, steel tubes. Right, so let's dump all this stuff in here. Thankfully we had enough grids. Now if I start grinding this down, that should get us some more of the other components that we need. It's those gravity generator components. They're the ones that have silver in them, and they're, well, like silver dust, I guess? I was going to say gold dust. Let's just see what we can put into this thing. So we need display construction components. Are there any of those left in here? Yeah, there are. Okay. Grind you. This is going to rapidly spike up because those gravity generator components are, well, they're beasts. They take up a lot of space. You can only carry one at a time. Oh, see, this is full already. Right, problems. Display, small steel tubes, and construction components. I can get those out at least. Displays and small steel tubes. So what I'm going to do, we need more small steel tubes. We've got 1 here. We need 3 more. So I'm going to tell this to disassemble some of these plates. While that's working, I'm going to see if we can get a display off of sheep here. Okay, so we got those. Now, you could just start leaving stuff lying around on the ground, obviously. That's probably enough. We're going to assemble. Where are they? Small steel tubes. Inventory. But I like to get the cargo container running first, just in case I start losing resources. So there we go. That's our storage sorted out. That's first priority. I want to get this stuff in here. Just so everything's organized. Fighting for survival here, and I'm worried about being tidy. I don't know. Everyone has their own priorities, I guess. Right, it goes in. Now if I finish grinding this down, because I know I'm going to need these components. Yeah, I think some of these are actually going to drop on the floor, which is a little bit annoying. Yeah, there we go. But because this is here, I can literally just go put you in there.
Inventory full.
There.
Inventory full.
There.
Inventory full.
Yes, I know it's full. Thank you very much. Go up. And start popping these components in here. Okay. It is a little bit annoying, you can only do one at a time, but again, we're going to be making things that'll make our lives easier when we're building, transporting stuff around. There, right, so all that's, nope, that's full, so production, disassemble all, put you in there. Right, so I want to fill that gap in, because if I keep falling in there, I'm going to go crazy. So, get some plates. 6. Oops. Just so everything looks tidy. We'll make that the right color. Well view up. Boom. Now we can run across without falling in all the time and wasting precious hydrogen on jumping out of holes that we've created ourselves. Right, so that's the silver taken care of. We got silver in there now. If memory serves for assembly, I think that's enough silver. Yeah, we need 20 and we've got 30. That's good. Now we need nickel. Now, nickel, like I say, the easiest way to get that, if we jump up on the roof here, try not to waste too much power. This is the only functioning solar panel on this side here. The other one's basically toast. It's just got a few little components left in it. This would work if you could leave it how it was. Then you got to find some other source of nickel. Now I happen to know that there are rocks nearby because I tested that have nickel in them. Oops. So if you know where they are and you're quick enough, you can run all the way over there, get some nickel, and because you've got an arc furnace, you can just process those and maybe save your solar panel. Let's make this black as well. You in here. Let's do another batch just to be safe. And that means when the sun comes up, your power situation should more or less be sorted because you're going to be restoring power to the ship there. But I want to do this as like the quick start, the basic way of doing it. And then our next challenge will be finding another way to restore our nickel and to rebuild our solar panel. Plus, I'm going to want to use some of those components anyway for a different project. So, if I'm going to be breaking it down anyway, I might as well get our power sorted earlier, if you know what I mean. So this is all about making like tactical decisions. Start assembling these and let that run. Okay. So yeah, this is the other problem. We've only got like an arc furnace here. We cheaped out when we bought this ship. We spent all of our money on that stupid artificial intelligence, which is just causing us problems. We'll have to try and get that back up and running at some point. And so we've only got this arc furnace, which means we can only process basic materials: cobalt, iron, and nickel. So it is nice to be able to do at least those. We're going to need that. But we're going to need to upgrade that to a refinery as well. And the rocks that are dotted around, they're easy to access. They're all on the surface. You don't need massive mining drills or anything to get to them. You can do it by hand, but because our inventory size is so low and the distances involved, running all the way over there for a tiny little amount of the ore is really, really inefficient. So, what we're going to do this episode is basically get our situation more under control, so we don't have to worry about suffocating or running out of jetpack power or anything in the short term. I'm down to 49% energy. I'm just going to restore that while that's working. See, 3 hours that's down to again. Now that the assembler is running, so we really do need to keep an eye on that. See, the sun's almost down now. I'm leaving my suit lights on too, just so we can see, and that's not helping with my power consumption. I should probably turn off those displays, but some steel plates in there still. Those will be useful, because the refinery takes a ton of steel plates. We're going to need to salvage a good chunk of this section of the ship before we can build that, I think. So how much nickel have we got? 100. Is that enough? Some tools. Yes, there we go. Hydrogen bottle. Yeah, that's plenty. An oxygen bottle. So we'll let those build. I don't want to use the solar cells if I don't have to, because I think we're losing some of the components' efficiency, because the efficiency is not at maximum on these. Boom. Hydrogen bottle, oxygen bottle. So if I stick those into here, we've got a little bit of ice to get us going. It should last a reasonable amount of time, but it won't last forever. Take those back, and boom. Oxygen, hydrogen sorted, power sorted. We don't have to worry about dying in the short term, but we do have to worry about it in the long term, because we're not in a sustained setup right now. We need to fix that. But I think I'm going to call that episode for today. That's our first episode objective completed, showing you how to survive in the short term, at least with this map. I am interested to see what people think of this, so do leave your feedback. I'm going to leave a link to the Steam Workshop page where you can download it as well. It's an alpha. I made it for fun because I wanted a nice challenge map to play, and I'm going to try and come up some objectives that we force ourselves to stick to, and different structures we need to build. But I'm open to suggestions on that as well, and if I like them, I'll include them in the official release of the map. I've been inspired by like the old Minecraft Skyblock map, where it was like, do this, do this, do this, the first set of like missions for you, and it kind of taught me how to play the game. So I'm kind of trying to force myself to learn things about the game that I wouldn't normally use by doing it this way as well. So yeah, let me know what you think. If you hate it, feel free to tell me. Like, I'm interested in good and bad feedback. And if you like it, let me know that too. Any suggestions or anything, I'd like to hear that. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next episode, and we'll try and get a little rover up and running. Bye-bye.